Hey Facebook, welcome to another episode of Mentored Live, a weekly show where we interview successful entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Mitch Smedley, and today I'm interviewing John Huntinghouse. Now John, he is the founder of a couple of different Facebook pages that have gained a massive following over the last, 8 years?
Yeah, it's really only been in the last 5, yeah.
5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, in a very short amount of time. His pages are LDS Smile is one, and that has, I think it's a little over 90,000 likes, which is amazing. And his other one is Mormon Memes, which has over 120,000 likes.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It is pretty amazing how that works out.
Man, so we're really excited to figure out what got him up to that point, how he figured it out. And we also just want to invite you guys, if you guys like this kind of content, go ahead and comment, share. At the end of this, we'll be doing a Q&A. If you guys have any questions at all, we're happy to answer them. And just a couple things about John. He's been featured on the front pages of the Huffington Post, a website called eOnline, Reddit, and BuzzFeed. So John has definitely been around the block.
All right, that's
cool. So John, tell us first of all, what got you started in social media?
I really just kind of backdoored my way into it, right? So
okay.
My background is biology, and I was planning on going to med school, and that was kind of the role that I was planning on doing. And then ended up happening that I decided to change my direction. Like after getting accepted to medical school, I decided to change directions. And once I did that, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with my life. And so I kind of went in through this wilderness for about 6 years, not like just trying different things and not really knowing exactly what I wanted to do. But I ended up taking an entrepreneurship class up at the University of Utah.
Okay.
And that's where it switched my, it opened up my eyes. And then I realized that that's where my real passion was. And then I happened to stumble into social media just basically as a tool by which I wanted to grow my own little company. And so I kind of backdoored my way into social media, but then once I did, it was just super awesome, and it was fun, and it was amazing, and yeah, it's been fun ever since. So
okay, I have a similar story a little bit. I was gonna go be a doctor.
Yeah.
I never made it very far.
Yeah.
But I was gonna be a doctor, and then I just realized, okay, I think I like the challenge of starting my own business. Like any other pathway just seems like it's too set out.
Right.
Entrepreneurship, with entrepreneurship and social media, it's kind of an adventure, and everyone's adventure is going to be a little bit different.
For sure.
So you graduated from University of Utah.
Yep.
With an MBA, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. And at that point, were you already involved in social media?
Yep. So by that time, we had started LDS Smile, and we actually, LDS Smile kind of started off as more of a hobby, just something that was interesting to us, and a way for us to just express both the humorous and inspirational side of our religion. And so it was just a way for us just to express ourselves, right? And so, but we built up kind of a large following, and the irony of it was that I actually tried to launch several businesses off LDS Smile, not LDS Smile in and of itself, but to use that platform to launch other business ideas, And so we tried a lot of different random, weird, ideas.
Okay. So are you saying that you built up the page LDS Smile, and then from that you tried to branch off different businesses? Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Yeah,
so meaning that we still would build up LDS Smile as a social media tool, but then we're like, hey, now that we have a platform, maybe we could launch this motorcycle helmet company and use LDS Smile as a reach, the reach for LDS Smile to get to those customers, which didn't work because it was really it was really dumb. There's no correlation to what we were trying to do, and it was just weird. And
wait a second. So you it could be said that you were trying to sell motorcycle helmets to a bunch of Mormons.
Yeah, right. And so it was weird. And we were just we didn't know what we were doing. We had no clue clearly we didn't know what we were doing.
But now hold on, you got to take us back. What year did you start LDS Smile?
Okay, so we started LDS Smile, let's see, in 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
Yeah, not that long ago.
Wow.
So yeah, we started in 2012, and actually the first year we started it, like I didn't post anything. Like I posted maybe 4, 5, 6 times that entire year. So our first year, like we had no traction because we never posted.
So at best, it was a total hobby.
Yeah. Oh, and it was a total hobby for probably the first 2 years. First 2 years, it was just we would post randomly whenever we could, and whenever I felt like it, I'm like, oh yeah, this would be funny. Let's post this on LDS Smile, and then it would go like 3 weeks, and like, oh hey, there's something else we can post on there, you know?
Okay.
And so the first 2 years was really scattered. It was kind of all over the map, and it wasn't structured. There's no strategy to it. We just kind of posted, you know, random different things. But what ended up happening was one of our kind of initial linchpins, if you will, was that one of our memes actually got shared, right? And not exactly sure who shared it, but clearly somebody who had reach shared it, because we ended up getting about 5,000 followers over the weekend. Like,
oh my gosh, how many followers did you have up to that time?
We had probably about 1,200. And a lot of them were just like weird, random, like people. I don't know how they found out our page. So it was like from the India and Pakistan, like just like weird, random people that were, that could at that time totally could have been fake accounts, you know.
Right.
But I mean, we had a solid, maybe 500 or so people that were really solid, and then we had another 500 to maybe 1,000 people. Like I don't know who they are. Like they never interacted with the page, but we had probably about 1,200, 1,500 people, fans at the time.
Okay. And
then we shared this meme, and then it went mini viral. I mean, at the time it was viral for us, right? And so it went viral, and it had like 10,000 shares and like
10,000 shares.
Yeah, shares. And so.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and so I had 10,000 shares. I had about 30,000, 40,000 likes, and then so clearly someone with reach shared it, and then we gained about 5,000 new followers or people who liked our page over that weekend. Wow. And then so like literally overnight, like we had like 6,000 people, 6,000 fans. Like
so, what was it about that particular post that made it go viral? Besides the fact that somebody shared it, because you've been mentioning, I mean, you'd post like once every 3 weeks, every month.
Yeah.
Why did that post do so well?
Well, because it connected to, first of all, the audience that we were. It connected to the LDS.
Sorry, do you remember what the post said?
Yeah. So it was a meme of the Rock on the. What's that movie called? The Race to Witch Mountain or something like that.
Oh, is it called Race to Witch Mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ethan knows.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. But anyways, it was just that meme where you have the Rock and he's looking at the rearview mirror to the girl that's in the back, and then he's like, "Hey, I started reading the Book of Mormon," and then so he looks back, and then she's like, "The Nephites die," and then he's like, "What?" And so it's. But this kind of goes on to content or content, and what really resonates, whether it's emotion, like which makes you angry or happy or surprised or humorous. Like content that resonates usually creates some kind of paradigm shift, right? Mm-hmm. And in this case, the paradigm shift was like it is true, like where you could ruin a book, like by giving the ending,
right?
But like. In the sense of in the Mormon culture, like we just don't really ever view it in that sense. Like if it was just a book, and so it created a paradigm shift, and it's like, oh yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, the Nephites do die in the end. Like that sucks, Yeah. And if you had no context of what the Book of Mormon was, like. Yeah, I mean that you could easily frame it like that, and so it created a paradigm shift, and it was just obviously it connected with pop culture at the time, which was that movie at the time, and they get that. So, but almost all of our posts since then, even till now, like the ones that really do well, create some form of paradigm shift, right? Like whether it be humorous or inspirational, just it shifts the way that you traditionally think about something, like whether it goes from serious, like one of our serious posts was like Elizabeth Smart talking about how we need to change teaching, how we go about changing the way we teach about sex education. So that's like more of a serious post too, like these memes and more humorous things that we do, which kind of frames the Mormon culture in a different light, in a humorous light. But
right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. That is actually really interesting. We're going to get into content and how to create good content a little bit later.
Yeah.
But let's continue on your story.
Yeah.
So you had that one post that went mini viral. You got 5,000 likes to your page. Were you turning a profit at this point?
No. So this is all just on social media, and we were just focused on. So after this, we actually started to take the page a little seriously. Like before, it was just hodgepodge. Like I'd post a photo of my daughter, and she's like, "Oh, this is funny, huh?" And like it wasn't really funny to anyone except for us,
Right.
But after that kind of linchpin moment, like we started to take it a little bit more seriously. We started to focus and hone in our content a little bit. Like, all right, now we actually have followers. Let's actually try to hone in like what would be appealing to them. And it was still very humor related, right? And so kind of the niche that we dug out for ourselves was kind of the Mormon memes, Mormon humor niche, and we just churned out a ton of like mainly Mormon memes, right? Like we just created a lot of them and just churned it out and started sharing them, and they did really, really well. And it was awesome, and it was fun, and so and it's just started to blossom from there.
And just blossomed. Okay, so you started creating consistent, good content, and people, I guess you could say, they knew what to expect when they visited your page,
right?
Which is super crucial.
Which was not the case before then, right? And
right,
which you could argue is why we didn't grow at all for like the first 2 years, right? Like, or well, the first year, like we didn't grow at all because it was all over the map. Like, they just happened to run into it, but yeah, after we started to make more of a focused effort on creating consistent, like a consistent message and consistent content, then it really started to build organically, and we would get anywhere from 50 to 100 likes, a week, and then it kind of just built upon itself.
Wow. Okay. So it would build upon itself. That's great. But is that the end of the story? You just built it up until it is what it is?
No, there's a lot of moments, right? And we did a lot of things along the way, and we tried a lot of things, failed at a ton of things, but ultimately what ended up happening is we kept on this consistent posting, and so we thought about like how could we monetize the website,
right?
Or just monetize it at all, and it took us a while. Like I said before, like we were launching other businesses off this, and that just was a failed strategy and it was stupid.
Like motorcycle helmets.
Yeah, like a motorcycle helmet, like which was like so like random and weird. But what ended up happening before we made the jump to the website, which I'll get to in a second.
Okay.
But so we started to post content, but then we realized, all right, we're gaining followers and it's good, but I mean we had maybe about 15,000 fans at this point. Like we built it over time, and it started to build on itself. And so after I don't even know how many months, it was a while. So we had about 15,000 likes, and which was nice, and it was a good place to start. But it still wasn't there yet. Like it was we had some traction, we get good distribution, but we wanted to really boost, jumpstart what we were trying to do. And it was funny because I happened to go to another lecture, and I don't even know who was speaking, but he was actually focused on a startup. Like he was just talking about like in general like tech startups, right?
Okay.
And one of the things is you could grow organically, which is kind of what we were doing at the time, just growing organically,
right?
And just posting things and hoping people would see it. And so in the business sense, it's like creating like a mom and pop shop, like you can just go create a mom and pop shop, kind of start to grow, get word of mouth locally, and get people to grow there. Or you can, really jumpstart the process. And in this case, he kind of coined this phrase, jumping onto a larger engine, right? So attaching yourself to a larger engine. And so we're like, hey, we should totally do this. And so this was actually one of our focus strategies that actually ended up working really, really well, which was we were looking at various sites that were kind of doing where we could contribute, and one of the largest sites at the site, I mean it's not as big as it is today, but it was still fairly large, was BuzzFeed.
Okay.
And so BuzzFeed was there, and they allowed community content, and so we're like, oh hey, that would be awesome, we should totally create our own posts, right?
Okay.
And so this is before we even had our own website. We we created a post on BuzzFeed, and we leveraged our local social network, right? So these are like LDS blogs and websites, and we kind of leveraged them. We're like, hey, we're going to create this link. I think you would really like it. I think it would fit very well with your audience. And so we ended up sharing it, and it ended up doing really well with the local audience. And then it actually got picked up by a couple of subreddits on Reddit that kind of bolstered that like the internal algorithm, if you will, with BuzzFeed. Yeah. And that it landed on the trending page, and then ultimately it landed on the front page of BuzzFeed, that article. Wow. And so it drove a ton of traffic to our Facebook page.
What was the article about?
I believe it was called 10 Things That Only Mormons Would Understand. And so it was just like 10 little different components of just like animated GIFs, and just like just different situations that Mormons would, kind of like inside jokes that Mormons would understand. Right. And it just did really, really well. And so we gained about another 25,000 fans over that weekend from just that post.
Wow!
And so we over doubled what we had, like our fan base, and I think in total it had like 1.3 million views over that weekend.
You have to be really careful. You could break your Facebook page doing that.
Yeah, I know, right? So it was crazy. And granted, the vast majority of people, the vast majority of the 1.3 million were not LDS. Uh-huh. They were people outside, but even still, it still generated interest with them, and especially within the LDS kind of niche. And
that's really cool. And you do get to spread the gospel a little bit with that tool.
Yeah.